Did you know there was an entire luxury beachside neighborhood right next to LAX that's almost been completely forgotten about? This is the story of the forgotten neighborhoods of Surfridge and Palisades Del Rey. Back in the 1920s, this entire area was nothing but untouched sand dunes overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Developers had their sights set on turning this into a luxury beachside neighborhood that they named Palisades Del Rey. Later, they held a naming contest for the new subdivision, and Palisades Del Rey became Surfridge. Spanish-style homes with red tile roofs and sweeping ocean views started popping up everywhere. Things in Surfridge were pretty much perfect, until they weren't. When this neighborhood was built, the airport right next door that we now know as the Goliath LAX today was just a small airstrip called Mines Field. Back then, it was mostly propeller planes and small aircraft. Commercial jets didn't even come into the picture until the 50s and 60s, but when they did, the difference was astonishing. These brand new screeching jetliners took off directly over the entire neighborhood of Surfridge. Former residents reported that sometimes airplane parts would fall into their yards, windows and patios would be covered in soot from jet fuel residue, but the noise was the biggest inconvenience. Residents went from having to raise their voice during conversations to having to pause their conversations entirely while they waited for the jet to pass overhead. By the early 1960s, the city of Los Angeles deemed the neighborhood uninhabitable and used eminent domain to buy people out of their home. Between 1965 and 1975, with the airport rapidly expanding, more than 800 homes were either bought out, moved, or demolished. And by 1975, every single home in Surfridge was gone. Today, all that remains of Surfridge are the old street layouts. However, if you drive by the area or walk through it today, and you know where to look, you can still catch a few glimpses of what used to be. Coming up now on what would have been the grand entrance to the Surfridge community. You can still find old driveways, old steps that led up to the complexes and the homes themselves. Someone's driveway and old bricks, part of the retaining wall. Like, these were actual homes at one point. So crazy. This was prime ocean real estate, all lost to the modern age, I guess. Apparently, up until 2001, some of the main avenues were still open, and you could drive up there, catch planes taking off from LAX, catch the sunset. But after 9/11, the entire site was fenced off and is now preserved land for the endangered El Segundo blue butterfly. The only part of the original development you can still access today is Vista Del Mar Park. It was part of the original housing tract as seen in these old archival photos here. Not only is the park stunning, but it offers a closer look at some of the old streets. Also, fun fact, the 1967 movie Clam Bake starring Elvis Presley was filmed right along this stretch in front of old Surfridge, and you can get a glimpse of the neighborhood and what it used to look like. My favorite part of doing these videos is when you guys share your personal stories in the comments, the memories, the family history, even when the place itself is gone. Drop a comment below and tell me your story. I would love to hear it.